or on an actual system. I thought I had to emulate this if I ever wanted to play this, but it actually happened. We got a localization.
Oh,
Oh,
my spleen!
thanks for the follows, Wolf Boy. Oh, the timing on that it's always impeccable. Oh boy. All right, let's see. What do we got over here? Subtitles on. I'm gonna have transparency high. Wait time. Adjust the length of time until next line of dialogue is displayed. I'm gonna have it as short as possible. It was like I just like the fact that I said that I finished what I was saying right followed by oh my spleen just cracked me up is the thing. Is what like that's why I was. Oh, that's cool. Did not know that. What is this? Turn this on to enable story mode in places of autoplay, allowing you to progress this game automatically without having to press any buttons. Eh, fair enough. But yeah, I'll take a look at the special contents of my own time. But anyway, let's get started. And we have 2 games to pick from: Adventures and Resolve. But yeah, let's start a new game in the first of the new Ace Attorneys.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
That ain't good. The Great Departure. Oh, that was me. Oh, that. Dang it, Nightbot. Let me. Okay. Let me just like. Let me do that real quick. I can. Weird. There's usually a permit. Well, I can take a like. Yeah, I don't like. Might have forgotten to to whitelist that part. Uh, what do I? Yeah, usually permit is all I need to do, but like a permit command is all I need to do, but yeah, I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'll I'll try to fix that like when I'm like next time, like but yeah. Anyway. Anyway, 22nd November, Supreme Court Judicature. I don't know. Yeah, sure, whatever. Defendant to Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber? Is this the is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Yep. What? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow find myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you know how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this, I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these last few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by students. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. I keep wanting to say academy, but he's far more clever than I, a star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago, but I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're gonna get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you're representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean, to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish to see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get a visit from a high-class Western restaurant like this. Like, see you in English class tomorrow, then, partner. The flashing is starting to get to me. Like, that's kind of, I guess that's probably the problem of having a full-screen Ace Attorney game, see white flashes. It was straight after that's when it happened. Asuki, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but never mind that for now, Asuki. You should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers. Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense of this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Yosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. If I may... Yes, sorry! You must be the defendants. Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right! My name is Yushin Mikotoba. I'm a professor at forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asuka has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. You know what? Well, as you no doubt heard, Asugi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that the permission will be revoked, and never granted again. What? And I suspected you are unaware of this. I had a feeling Asugi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, at this time period, like, I mean, this was basically around the time when Japan finally opened its doors and stopped being a hermit nation. But there's still the old ways that are and a lot of the old ways still people wanting to cling to those old ways of not wanting to allow outsiders in or even go out. So it's a little harder to convince people. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. Great! But, what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Defendant! Court is about to begin! Proceed to the courtroom at once! Ah, it would seem our surreptitious discussions are about to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as a defendant, a final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway! This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. So, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that will decide my destiny. (22nd November, 9 a.m. Oh boy, it's getting a little bit hard to get used to the date structure of the European or United Kingdom or like the other way of having dates being decided, because I'm not used to it being the logical way. So this is a courtroom. I love his eyes. His eyes are like the Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? It's a trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials will attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time, but for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I'd like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocate fee to be decided 2 days prior to the trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? That's okay. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? I know we're supposed to say I do, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a but thou must moment. So I'm Cosmo is the lawyer here. I can't defend myself. If I said I do, it would be tantamount to lying. And I've been accused of murder, for goodness sake. This is no time for lies. Try to stop fidgeting, Ryunosuke. It's distracting. But if I don't say I'll defend myself now, things could end very badly for my friend. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside this defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense.
Yes!
Oh, okay. What's the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotomo told me everything just now before the trial. He did what? He said your dreams of studying abroad would be dashes for you to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off? No, it's not that, really! It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotomo shouldn't have struck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Mm-hmm. Oh! Yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking! I'm not confident at all! In fact, my mind got blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated the most heinous crime indeed. Oh, pain. Oh, ouchie! Pain! Ah! 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 as you are no doubt aware, the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. I know it's probably not that, but this... Accordingly, to the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency! It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am! So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I've ever cared to remember, but... Wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that! What was it again? Yunosuke... Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of R. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all there. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find the details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. John H. Wilson, 47. Oh boy. And he was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University from the British Empire. Oh wow. Well, also good he's only 2 years younger than me. Taketsuchi Auchi. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Alright. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record. Then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
Surprise, Wolfboy! The victim's name was Dr. J. H. Wilson. I believe that was like his the original name in the Japanese version was Watson. So, a bit unfortunate. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilled on our soil! You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education! Have you no honor? But I didn't do it! The case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. That is unfortunate. Like, that explains why this trial was able to be arranged so quickly, but that is also kind of scary to realize that, yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm still sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go say hello. Ah. Okay, though. I'm sorry about those Discord boops. I mean, yeah, like, I'm sure it would. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Yunosuke. Gunshot. Gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That is unfortunate. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. Evidence is everything. But by evidence. But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Yeah!
Yes!
Well, I kind of prefer to take that, but oh well. According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's post-mortem report, I take it!
Sorry, yes, that's right! Post-mortem report! In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. Oh. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime.
Stake.
You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, Counsel. This court will accept the modern scientific evidence into court. Yeah. And more evidence. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I'd never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. By the way, this is the turn of the century. So around 1901 or so. So there's a bit of antiquity, or a bit of oldness to this, which is great. Let's start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotopa? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I could still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said Kazuma Osugi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Aha! He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you could give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma! Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats!
Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first! Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival.
Why are you bleeding? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, it's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. It bothers me! Well, it really, really should! As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now for hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Eatery. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incidents. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have a few diners at the time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and therefore, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. Well, I did pick up a gun and I found lying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him!
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. A court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what you saw, you amateur! But the next time you interrupt at an appropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see in court today. Yes, without question. I see! Apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university students. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right! When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed! I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Gotta wait. Desperate want to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryunosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I never had gotten into university otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry! And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day! I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table!
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud! Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw! Hatsunaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. Probably that blood loss, maybe? No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it! I actually have a rough plan at the restaurant, as it was that day. Please have a look if you'd like. Really? Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Is it about the business card itself, or is there something that he drew that's not quite right? So, the court has now heard the process of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have a small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn it to the defense, if you're determined to pursue matters further into this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. It's a bluff, isn't it? Or that's just them trying to scare us. What do you think? What do you think I should do, Cosma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial is unusual about these peculiarities. You said it. You said it, Professor Mikatomo said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead of you if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now just to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then our defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. So, are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. Where's the hair blowing his headband coming from? Whoa! The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then you'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Dang. Indeed. Prosecutor Ouchi, please continue with proceedings. Well, you are warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses? As in, more than one on the... Oh boy! We have this again. Witnesses, kindly state the names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir! The Great Nippon... Imperial Sergeant Iasadosa, reporting for duty, sir! Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kiryo Korekuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing! Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea in the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, hours post-noon. And not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my businesses. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be the seller rather than a buyer. Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of the most atrocious incident. Is it correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir!
This man is impossible to understand as the others. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Yeah, it sounded like a baby. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Standing by, ready to report, sir!
Wait a minute. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. He's hiding a baby, isn't he? He's hiding a baby. That's actually, like, what he's holding, that's actually one of those things you hold a baby in, right?
I was suggesting a regular beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man!
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine gold curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
We already got it. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Okay, I already know so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim.
Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgettable enemy!
What the time we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day.
But this is ridiculous! Ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes! All I did was pick up the gun I saw lying on the floor! Which I know is a dumb idea! Which is a dumb thing to do! After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. Then, when I finished, I got up from a seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it, so I bent down, and just as I was picking it up... Well, if that's the truth, then there's no obvious criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty! It's time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly. The testimony of the court has heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial.
Yes!
Mate! Wait! Hold it! What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands the right to a cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headman boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic! Huh? How do you know? The prosecutor rejects. It's a clear waste of time. But it obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
I still have the right. The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Therefore, whether or not you think he is capable of it is irrelevant. Oh, talk about so commanding. Very well. The defense conducted a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Is it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means that the soldier has to be... that what the soldier said has to be a lie. Guy... Oh, excuse me! BRB, gotta switch controllers. Change grip order. Plug. Grab the other controllers. And plug this in to charge it. There we go. Actually, while I'm at it, I'm actually gonna get a glass of water. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking during this. Yes, but, well, it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let him beat you. Alright then, it's all or nothing. Poor boy. Poor guy. Ingesting a regular beef steak in a restaurant. Frick. Frick. My webcam was also in the way of the... Anyway, this is one thing that I do a lot, and it's press everything.
Yes!
It doesn't feel right! It doesn't feel right! It doesn't feel right with him saying yes every time! I know that in the Japanese version he yells, "Hi!" But it doesn't feel right with him saying just that every time! Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beef steak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? T-shirt! Beef steak is a delicious kind of veal vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot! Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as its cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So next question. This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Cutlet is a delicate, delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs, and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and win your relief from prison. Try it! Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to sneak in questions that are relevant to the case? Oh, sorry, I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing sort of wah crying? Negative! Well, at least we learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. But what is that? Excelling the virtues of particularly fine or cutie.
Yes!
I have no idea what you're talking about! A Koban boy. A Koban? It must be an old Edo coin. Or Edo coin. The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day with said item secreted in my bosom pocket. In the hope of an affluent cognizant appraised of its So, you were hoping to sell your Koban coin to Sarchadosa, whom you met at the restaurant. Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You were about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Is that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespect to a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything! Although penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. Hiccups. The gentleman aside me who was grappling with his brazen deal at the time was my sole prospect. I see. At the precise moment a firearm was discharged, I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes!
So you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian! But that's impossible! If I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you hadn't in fact seen the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Ah! A double ah! My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means... A split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet! Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd gotten where I was in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well... It would seem the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. I am also sweating. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired at the English civilian in front of the cowardly little weasel!
Yes!
So this black university cadet, you're saying that was... Ah! I've just had just about enough of your sauce, cadet! Who else is he around here in black uniform, hmm? Well, there's someone right next to me who's sitting right next to me fits that description well, but... It was you, you little weasel! You unloaded the firearm on that man! From behind his back, and you called yourself a civilian of the great empire of Nippon! You disgust me! What is it, Inosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you gathered in the court record. And if you find any inconsistency there with what the witnesses said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it! was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of the mysterious absconded precious curio. Oh. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here! Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in the statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the king is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence that while a witness is giving testimony by pressing R. Go through each witness statement and the details of each piece of evidence and compare the facts. Somewhere in there you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with X and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you doubt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart. You'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with a witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statement over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head up and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Okay, I just wanted to, like... So you lost your coin. On your hands and knees? Could you explain that, please? That's right, spreading the arthritis I was in order to retrieve a lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The Koban, of course! The exquisite Hoei era Koban coin! I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes the briefest of moments, there was no more. It simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened. Kablooey! You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than that, though it was no concern of mine. I was randomly scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred. Indeed, myself, I did not. Uh-huh. Okay, now I can skip through this. Since I've already read this part. Alright, let's go. I believe it's the fourth statement.
Yes!
What? What are you playing, architect? Get it, cadet. What's the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting this wad of paper in my mustache. An inconsistency, sir? I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here! What nonsense. How can this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that... I know what I want to say, but the worst will come out of my mouth! Same! I think it's pretty beyond of a doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in the Grand Courtroom. Ah! This is so frustrating! Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. Spell it out would be an insult to the court! Kazuma, what are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the evidence that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant yes, no, sir. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eye, sir!
Yes!
What? No! That just can't be! And why not, cadet? Because... As is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from the pectoral trauma. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Well... What? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back when he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony of the court has proven one thing beyond reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Iesa Nosa... Oh my gosh, I just got the pun! Yeah, yes sir, no sir. Did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd! I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom! Haha, yes! Yeah! Woohoo! Yeah! Get old! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about! Oh my gosh! I'm a frick! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have to. I need to. Okay. Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes!
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prized Hoei era Koban! Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and there it happened. And then it happened. Man, but you heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure! Nothing could distract me! Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels, it must be to the British. It would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchi? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate. Has fled a tiger at the... May have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he'll find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear. But we just proved that they can't be trusted. That there is only one person who possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant Ryunosuke Yanahoda. What? He really does seem to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witness to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko Kasirana, Excellency. Yes, sir! I want, sir! Oh! Oh! Thanks for the host. Yes, at once, sir. I'm waiting to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something, someone peeking over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative, the newest member of the Noso family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name, Aido! It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Aido, attention! Your father is about to quill the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! Oh my gosh, that is adorable. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment, the firearm was discharged. It's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black, that much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that there were only that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Okay, there is something wrong here, but we don't have I don't think we have any evidence to really...
Yes!
Wait! That's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all! Please, enough of these outbursts already! But there was a woman! There was a young woman at his table! You must have seen her! Everyone there must have seen her!
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly! We are not here to listen to your fantasies! It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this in fact. This is a photographic print of the scene of the crime console. Oh, frick. Indeed, of the table of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. This doesn't make any sense! The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. But how are we going to prove that there was a woman there? I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintained that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. That's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him. We don't have any evidence of the fact, but it seems we'll be able to telegraph that report to be written on time after all. The witness testimonies that we assure leave no further room for doubt. Are you kidding me?! These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. to think that I, Takatsuchi Ouchi, will have contributed to the enmity of these two great enmity of these great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. Oh, hey, Miracle. Rules can be so unbending at times. Okay, let's do this. Now, let's see.
Yes!
Sure? No, it's not the same thing at all! For a start, I didn't buy that gun! We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. And there you have it. So there you have it. Have what? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ear, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget the antique dealer witnessed the accused in the most incriminating position as well. Isn't that true, Korikuda-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black, that much I did see. Wrong button.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor! Well, obviously, as the Cobra, that's the only way you could explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee, and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed the gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And exactly at that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond my control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up my Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Be careful holding that dagger, by the way. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone at the Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there. Maybe he could have been Yoda. I don't know.
Attention!
As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ears. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. If only there would be more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it's already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there are the time reasonable. I wonder if there's a reason why the victim was eating at the time of day and why he was alone. My hiccups are very violent. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. If there was, this was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What's that, Counsel? It's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at the clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Hota clinic. Hot. Oh my goodness! It's like a precursor to the Hottie clinic. Oh my gosh. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation could be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it's really no bearing on the case. I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Huh? Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the courtroom as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yes! Of course! Yes!
Yes!
Yes! If I may, I'd like to ask for the medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Well, not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have the right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Younger citizens are forever asserting their rights! It's a most disturbing trend! Yeah! As we should! Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. I can definitely see that. Like, it very similar wording. What do we need to see? Okay, well, actually, let's take a look at that. A medical report card from Hata Clinic. And we can take a look at this if we want. Yeah, it's a bit, nothing really stands out to me with this, but hey. But yeah. What does he think of his collar pin? Okay, cool. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you've forgotten that these witnesses' testimonies have leave no room for doubts. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurikuta-san. Ah, nice. Okay, yeah. Okay. So, yeah, he has a report card. So it definitely means he went to a Hana clinic. Dining by himself.
Yes!
Let's press this again. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone? That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence that we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. Bad feel. No. The antiques dealer, sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. No, another black uniform cadet could have dispatched the Englishman over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dying companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruto, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter whose testimony the court heard earlier clearly said the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But that if such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. Oh boy. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I could say to that. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. You've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. Well, it has to. I wouldn't be so sure. Let's see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you may take a closer look at the piece of evidence in question. Use the R stick to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using you can move the crosshairs around to hunt the clues that may have been missed before. Okay, if the crosshairs start to pulsate, run away. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay. Let's see. On the back. Dentist, Hata Clinic. Date. Huh? There's no date. It looks like the medical report card was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment. That's why with a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Although if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine. They give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. The bad case of stubbornness, no less. For which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Nothing. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. There's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removal. Ugh! Perhaps they use laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief, and still used to this day. I should know because the dentist, because when I went to the dentist for fillings, they told me that, okay, if it's too painful, then ask for laughing gas or something like that. But yeah. I mean, sometimes even with insurance, it still gets a bit expensive, but it's not as bad as it could be. It's a tough time. Though I can't imagine what insurance was like back in 1900, back at the turn of the century. Just saying. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Though it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. There's a cautionary note for medical practitioners as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Okay, we got that. Really? Oh man, you're lucky then. Like, though, I mean, I was actually put under for my wisdom tooth removal, and I was pretty high. Well, high and not a. I was a very quiet high, but I actually fell on the floor when I got home. But other than that, I just laid in, like they set up the couch, they set up the couch bed, and it had me which had the TV in front of it, and I just played games until I fell asleep, which was not that long. Anyway, really, sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Yeah. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to this testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Alright. Okay. It's this. It has to be this one then.
Yes!
Ha Oh, I think, what are you whittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost, here, I'm not the accused. I'm the accused. Like Ryunosuke, everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in the cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, thanks for the advice. Korikuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim. I see. And I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement, something clearly doesn't add up.
Objection!
Dear me, have you forgotten my words so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drill. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's... Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Definitely, that's pretty much how I talk. Like, if you spend too much time thinking about how you're gonna say your words, you're not gonna say them. So, just say what you're thinking, and you'll sound cool. You'll sound cool and clever regardless. Probably. Maybe not. Good advice, right? Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There is surely no need to prolong the trial further. The witness testimony of the court have been heard and clear and concise. This written medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there is no one else besides the pale-faced pupil who could possibly perpetrate the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst have petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hata Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is this supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted? What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating... Yeah, just what are you trying to say, cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what? It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, I can't! Korikuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No! Additionally, there's more? You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case. He finally did it! He finally did it! I'm so proud of the boy. Because the victim, as we now know, just had one of his teeth extracted. They were still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Ah! Expertly done, partner. Ah, yes. Yes.
Objection!
What? What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations! Just look at the pornographic evidence! You can clearly see the plate and the food at the victim's table!
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow the logic? How dare you! I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant in this case, have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Huh? Yes! Most definitely! So, having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Though, I mean, to be fair, he might have been a rebel and just not did it, but, I mean, he's a doctor, so he probably knows that it's probably bad to not follow the dentist's advice. Just... the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one crucial conundrum. Who in fact was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh! That means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of your turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been... Okay, I can actually save. Well, might as well just make a save real quick, just in case. Me!
Yes!
I think it may have been me. What?
Objection!
It's not enough that you took a man's life, but you took his meal as well? That's a bee sting on a crying face! Some people seem to think they can do whatever they like. And some people seem to think they can say whatever they like. Ryunosuke. Sorry, but you're right. Of course I didn't need it. The next time you make a quip like that, I'll make you eat your words. Then you'll be needing some dental surgery yourself. Alright, I get the message. Third party. Obviously, can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table.
Objection!
You will not let this go, will you? There was no such person!
Yes!
There was, because I saw her! When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet, we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else eating there. We have strong evidence to support our assertion. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly. Kazuma. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them. Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So if it turns out that the two of you are deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, perjury! Obviously, you will be charged with perjury! Perjury? As this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Murder? No! Yes! No, negative! There was no message of this tactical meeting. No, it's just following orders. That's right. That's what that says. You can just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told. Gentlewoman. Oh. What? What did you say, Korikuta-san? Yes? Yes, what did you say? Oh, no. You are just following orders? Now, hold on. I was just... Say you never saw this gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean when you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What is the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements. Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. You're so sweet. Order, Count. Council, explain what's going up here. It's painfully clear now. You try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? Well, that's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. That can't be happening. Ryunosuke, judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Ouchi has had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there could only be a handful of possibilities. The Emperor? I mean, why would the Emperor? But like, I mean, people with money. It could have only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. We need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations, as to prove whoever it was really did wield his or her power here. But how? How could we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh yes, that's right! Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. Alright, there's no time to lose. Let's go! I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait! Your Excellency! I didn't know any of this! I swear to every Shinto god! I knew nothing! And what does the defense have to say about all this? Well, Your Excellency! No time to think. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shout the first thing that comes into my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses... am I able to... Oh boy. I mean... I mean...
Yes!
There. What do you think of that? I think, Counsel, that you may want to close your ears as well as your eyes. Okay, fine. Otherwise, the size of disappointment in the courtroom may very well deafen you. As you fear you must close your eyes in a crisis, might I suggest you keep your mouth shut next time, too. Otherwise, I may have used the influence I have in the courtroom to shut it! Permanently! No! No! I don't know what that prosecutor... Maybe we want Winston Payne sometimes. Oh my gosh! Ah! Winston Payne! My gosh! Ah! I'm kind of. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's actually take a look. All right, take a look at the. Okay. The symbol of Yume University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems tend to be either round or rectangular. I like the spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems, lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Yeah, that seems a bit of a problem. Perhaps it was the idea of one of the founders, a sharp pen for a sharp mind or something. My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pen, they won't accept you as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Of course, you could get a new pen made if you just tell them your number. I've actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I always say to myself, I must forget to write it down somewhere. But then I forget not to forget that. Why is I... Okay. I can't see the words of that. Waiter's business card. Chief Inspector? Well, that's unexpected. What is it? Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. That's not the name of the... It's not the name that's unexpected, it's his job title. Oh, his job... Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. Well, let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence, if they're wielding it somehow here. Oh boy. I had a feeling that it could have been Hosonaga-san, but I had no evidence for it. Also, I have to admire something. The fact that the subtitles show up when you go over Japanese text. That is really smart. That is really smart. Like, oh my goodness, that is yeah, it's such a simple thing, but it makes so much sense and it's so helpful. Because otherwise they would have had to actually edit the actual files, edit the actual 3D models. But that simple fix, it really does it. But anyway, it's Hosonaga, and that's why he was coughing so much when he gave the business card. I can find other ways to keep your mouth shut as well. All right, don't get angry. I'll think again. There must be a clue somewhere in all that evidence in the court record. Actually, now that I think about it, there might be some pieces of evidence I haven't thoroughly examined yet. Oh, hey, Monk. And what does the defense have to say about all this? Your Excellency, that's not the thing. I'm just going to have to close my eyes and shut out the first thing that comes into my head.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Objection!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. If he truly were? Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit the court with the truth. Truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity as proven by the evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question. Huh? I agree, it shows a great deal of attention, but I'm not sure we can conclude that. Look at the back already! Sorry, Alexis. That's the back of the card. But it's the back of the card that's of interest. I beg your pardon? Or I should just say, the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Just turn the card around. Would somebody please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Also, Naga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of the business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession, the waiter's profession. But that's surely... Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. That's a lot of words! What? The waiter is a police detective? I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So witnesses there in the stand... Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this floral gentlewoman at the scene? Well... Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized there was a possibility. Oh boy, the shiny eyes. Shiny glasses eyes. The goal will take the evidence of... is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. He realized someone might actually look at the back! Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. But I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake. So you mean to say, you really are a detective? But why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course! Your salary must be terrible! I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? Classified? That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Ah! Very well, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Yeah, why? Of course, Your Excellency. You have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would also have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that you, in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As is suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out to the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders, you mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was a killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman had been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right! One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yume University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain, and I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. What? You're a shrewd man. I can see why you're the chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. You mean, when I removed the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it prudent to check her identity first. And the court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. The Englishwoman sitting at the university professor's table is certain Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett? She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yume University's medical faculty. What is happening here? I admit that under orders from the police bureau, I erased all evidence of this lady's presence at the scene, and ordered these witnesses to make no mention of her in their testimonies. Clearly not all the evidence, because we found something. It must now be up to Your Excellency to decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far as the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise, namely that the victim was dining alone. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling at this point.
Objection!
Yes! But Your Excellency, I would be missing the new deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraphic report to Great Britain! Our own government will surely be displeased by such actions! Calm yourself, Counsel. I will not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceeding of my courtroom. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes, sir. You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means you'll be going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem? Nothing will get in my way. Court will adjourn briefly. The prosecution must call the English student Giselle Brett to the witness stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes. Your Excellency! Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow. 20 save slots. That is probably that is a lot.
But as of now, it is the 30. It is now 12:19:46 or 12:20 a.m. So I'm gonna have to call it here for tonight. But this is and yeah, this is getting it's going a bit over my usual time. But yeah, holy cow! I like I already see like 2 years ago I did watch this. It like when it was still in Japanese and like with an English with an incomplete English translation, but I barely remember any of it. So the fact that this is like they were that, but like this is still like very wow. I am excited to keep going with this, and yeah. Next time I get like next time we play Ace Attorney, like yeah, yeah. Like I it's just if this is the halfway point, I don't really want to push it any further because like cause yeah, like that's just how Ace Attorney is. Like it's just you get to the good part and then bam, you need to like you gotta stop and take a break. But and that's what I have to do. But anyway, anyway, who we got? What's our raid message and who are we gonna raid? Let's see. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Okay. Okay, sure. What? Oh, frick, I misspelled his name. There we go. We'll be raiding twice tonight. And for our raid message, sure. I guess we could do that. I wonder if he'll actually get it, if he'll get that message, or if he'll understand it. I mean, because he knows Ace Attorney, so who knows? Maybe he'll, whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is getting really good. I was planning on doing something else tomorrow, but I might just finish this trial tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. Alright, have a good night. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye.
This prosecutor makes me wince in pain. Sounds like somebody was playing Ace Attorney. How you doing, West? Good to see you. How was good old AA treating you? Well, which game were you playing? Was it the new one? Because don't spoil me. Your Ace Attorney boy and I just started. Nice. Yeah, don't spoil me, because I'm gonna play that myself. At some point. I hope your stream went well, though.
It was worth.
I know that it sounds like you're on the first case because I know I don't know if it's Prosecutor Ouchie or it's another pain in that version. I am in Submerged Castle. How you doing, Miracle Captors? Good to see you. Yes, I am in